Most people think dividend investing is about collecting checks and waiting. It is actually about what you do with the cash between payouts that determines whether your income grows fast or flatlines for years. The investors who quietly build $500, $1,000, even $2,000 a month in dividend income are not picking better stocks. They are treating their dividend cash as a live weapon the moment it hits their account. When your dividends land and sit idle, you are not being patient. You are giving up the exact compounding window that separates a $300 a month investor from a $3,000 a month investor. What I'm going to show you in this video is the real math behind dividend cash that almost nobody explains to beginners. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here's exactly what this video is going to do for you. By the time we are done, you will understand why dividend cash is not a reward. It is a decision point. And every decision point you handle correctly compounds forward. Every one you waste compounds backward. You will walk away knowing the specific framework that active dividend builders use to deploy cash the moment it arrives. Why idle dividends are the single most expensive mistake beginners make without realizing it. And how to build a portfolio that works in layers so each layer feeds the next. And here's the number I want you to hold in your mind the entire time. $147,000. That is the projected 30-year value of a $10,000 starting investment when dividend cash is deployed strategically every single quarter, compared to roughly $62,000 when that same cash sits idle between payouts. Same starting amount, same stocks, radically different outcome. I am going to show you exactly how that gap opens up, and I will not pay that number off until we get to the math that earns it. Stay with me. Before we touch a single number, I need to change how you see dividend cash entirely. Most beginners look at a dividend payment and think, that is income. That is a reward for owning the stock. I earned that by holding. And so they treat it like a paycheck, something that arrives and then gets absorbed into whatever is happening in life. That framing is the trap. Here's the correct way to see it. Dividend cash is not income. It is ammunition. The moment it lands in your account, the clock starts. Every day that cash sits uninvested is a day it is not buying more shares. And every share it does not buy today is a share that will not pay you a dividend next quarter. And that dividend it does not pay, next quarter will not buy shares the quarter after. You lose not just one round of compounding. You lose every round that would have flowed from it for the next 20 to 30 years. The engine here is reinvestment. Not complicated reinvestment, not sophisticated, just the simple, relentless act of turning every dividend payment into more ownership as fast as possible. Every dividend buys more shares. Those shares produce more dividends. Those dividends buy more shares. The engine does not care if you started with $500 or $50,000. It only cares how consistently you feed it. That is the whole game. That kind of income breakdown, where the real mechanism is the one nobody explains, is exactly what I build here every few days. Subscribe so you catch the next one before it goes up. Now let me show you the mistake that kills this engine before it ever gets going. Because I see it constantly with beginners, and nobody talks about it honestly. The mistake is chasing yield. You find a stock paying 9, 10, even 12%, and something in your brain lights up. Because the math feels obvious. Higher yield, faster income, faster freedom. So you load up on the highest yielding options you can find, sit back, and wait for the cash to roll in. Here is what actually happens. A yield that high is almost never a sign of generosity. It is almost always a warning label. When a company's yield spikes above 7 or 8%, especially in a market where stable payers yield 3 to 4, it usually means one of two things. Either the stock price has collapsed because the business is struggling, which pushes the yield percentage up artificially, or the company is paying out more than it can sustainably afford, which means a dividend cut is coming. And when that cut lands, the yield drops. The stock price often drops further, and you are sitting in a position that is worth less and paying you less than when you started. This is the part that hurts the most. You did not pick a bad stock by accident. You picked it because of the number that looked best, the yield. And that is exactly why chasing yield is the most expensive beginner mistake in dividend investing. You end up with cash that lands once or twice and then disappears, instead of cash that grows reliably for 30 years. So how do you tell the difference between a safe dividend and a yield trap? There are 5 checks I run every time before trusting a dividend with my capital. Think of these as a filter. The dividend has to pass all 5 or it does not make the cut. Check 1. Is the yield in a reasonable range? For most quality dividend payers, that means somewhere between 2 and 6%. Not 0, not 12. The sweet spot where the company is rewarding shareholders without overextending. Check 2. Is the payout ratio sustainable? The payout ratio tells you what percentage of earnings the company is using to pay the dividend. Below 60% is generally safe. Above 80%, you are watching a company pay dividends it may not be able to afford for long. Check 3. Is free cash flow covering the dividend? Earnings can be manipulated. Cash is harder to fake. You want to see that the company is generating enough real cash, after capital expenses, to cover what it is paying out. Check 4. Does the company have a track record of growing the dividend? Not just paying it, growing it. A company that has raised its dividend every year for 10, 15, 20 years is telling you something important about how it runs its business. Check 5. Is the business behind the dividend durable? Does it sell something people need regardless of what the economy is doing? The dividend is only as strong as the business generating it. If the business is fragile, the dividend is fragile. Run those 5 checks and you will eliminate most of the yield traps before they cost you anything. Let me show you 2 real-world examples that flip what most people expect. Example 1. A dividend payer with a yield that looks scary high, sitting around 5.8%. Most beginners see that number and assume it is a trap, but run the 5 checks and the picture changes completely. Payout ratio in the mid-50s. Free cash flow comfortably covering the dividend. 12 consecutive years of dividend increases. A business in essential services that does not shrink in recessions. That 5.8% is not a warning. It is a well-covered, growing income stream that has been quietly compounding for over a decade. The scary number is actually the opportunity. Example 2. A company flagging a dividend freeze, meaning they stopped raising the dividend this year. Red flag on the surface. Beginners read that and run. But behind that flag is a 40-year track record of never cutting the dividend, a temporary capital reallocation to fund a major acquisition, and a balance sheet strong enough to resume raises within 18 months. The freeze is a pause, not a collapse. The investors who panicked and sold gave up a decade of future income to avoid a headline. The lesson. The number alone is not the story. The context behind the number is the story. Now let me show you how to actually structure a dividend portfolio so your cash is always working, always compounding, and always moving toward that long horizon number we talked about. I think about this in 3 layers. Layer 1 is the foundation. I call it the boring bulletproof layer. These are your steadiest, most reliable dividend payers. Companies with decades of consecutive increases, low payout ratios, and businesses that keep generating cash no matter what the economy does. The yield here is modest, typically 2 to 4%, but the reliability is exceptional. This layer is not exciting. That is the point. You want bedrock that pays you in every market condition, so your reinvestment engine never stops running. Layer 2 is the blue chip income layer. These are larger, well-established companies with stronger yields, typically 4 to 6%, and solid dividend growth histories. Not as conservative as Layer 1, but not speculative either. These are the names that have been rewarding shareholders through multiple market cycles. They add meaningful cash flow without taking on the instability that comes with chasing the highest yields. This layer is where a lot of your monthly income comes from once the portfolio matures. Layer 3 is the growth kicker layer. This is a smaller portion of the portfolio, maybe 15 to 20%, allocated to dividend payers that are earlier in their growth cycle. The yields might be lower right now, but the dividend growth rate is faster. Think of it as planting seeds that will become your Layer 2 holdings in 10 years. The compounding math on rapid dividend growth is extraordinary over long-time horizons, even when the starting yield looks unimpressive. 3 layers, each one feeding the next. Each dividend deployed back into the system the moment it arrives. Let me be completely straight with you about what this looks like at the start. $10,000 invested across this kind of layered portfolio at an average yield of around 4% pays you roughly $33 a month in dividends. That is less than a streaming subscription. That is not going to change your life in month one. If you came here hoping for a number that would make you want to quit your job tomorrow, that is not it, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. That $33 is a seed, not a tree. The tree takes years to grow. But here's what changes when you treat that seed correctly. You reinvest those $33 immediately. Next quarter, the number is slightly higher. The quarter after, slightly higher again. You add to the portfolio when you can. The layers build. The income compounds. And somewhere around year 7 or 8, the monthly income is no longer a footnote. It is a real number that starts to change the math of your life. Patience is not passive here. Consistent reinvestment is the action. Every quarter, without fail. Here is a number that might make you feel like you are behind. The average yield on this kind of quality layered portfolio lands somewhere around 3.5 to 4%. The market average, when you include all the junk, all the overextended payers, all the yield traps, can look higher. And beginners sometimes feel like they are settling for less. You are not settling, you are selecting. The portfolios yielding 6, 7, 8% on average are almost always carrying significant dividend cut risk. One cut in that portfolio does not just reduce your income. It reduces your share count growth, collapses the compounding chain, and often drops the stock price at the same time. You get hit 3 ways. A 4% yield on a growing, well-covered, consistently raising dividend beats a 7% yield that gets cut in year 3. Every time, the lower number is not a consolation prize. It is proof you built something durable. Now I am going to pay off that number I gave you at the start. $147,000. Here is the year-by-year picture on $10,000 invested in a quality dividend portfolio, all dividends reinvested immediately, with an average dividend growth rate of 6% annually and a yield starting at 4%. Year 1. Your portfolio is worth roughly $10,400. Monthly income, $34. Not exciting, expected. Year 5. Portfolio value is approaching $13,500. Monthly income has climbed to about $52. Still modest, but the curve is starting to bend. Year 10. Portfolio crosses $19,000. Monthly income is now around $77. You are starting to feel the compounding. Year 15. $27,000. Monthly income approaching $112. Year 20. $38,000. Monthly income $160. Year 25. $54,000. Monthly income is now $228. Year 30. Here is where it lands. $147,000 in portfolio value. Monthly income from dividends alone, $490. From $10,000 and 30 years of consistent reinvestment. Now scale that. If you invested consistently, not all at once, just adding regularly, and reached a $50,000 portfolio over that same window, the monthly income projection at 30 years exceeds $2,400 every month from assets you own without selling a single share. That is the real math behind dividend cash. That is what changes when you stop treating the payment as income and start treating it as ammunition. But here's what I want you to think about before you close this video. Everything we covered today assumes you understand why you are doing this in the first place. The math only works if the behavior is consistent. And the behavior is only consistent when the reason is strong enough. There is a video on this channel that goes deeper on the identity shift that happens when assets start paying you, when your relationship with money changes from anxiety to optionality. It is called Why Everything Changes When You Start Dividend Investing, and the link is on your screen right now. Watch that next, because the math in this video is the vehicle. That video is the destination. This is not one lesson, it is a system. And the next piece of it is waiting for you. Here is what I want to know from you. Right now, when your dividends hit your account, what do you actually do with them? Do you reinvest immediately, let them sit, or use them for something else? Drop it in the comments. Your answer might be the most honest data point in this whole video.